Aloha everybody, my name is Jan and I'm coming to you from a beautiful island in Pacific called Moorea. And this is the Sing to the Whales event that we do on every solstice and every equinox. And it is a gathering of people from around the world that happens on the grids. You can see them as the grids surrounding the planet, and we combine our voices, our intentions, and our songs, whatever is in our hearts for the whales, to express the love and gratitude as a pod, as the humanity singing back to them. Moorea, that is a beautiful island in the Pacific where we are right now, is a very strong presence of Divine Feminine, and the internet is not good here. I would love to do it live for you to even hear the sounds of nature and feel the island, and we're gonna add a few little clips into this video so you can feel how divinely beautiful this place is. It really feels like coming to a paradise that we have been dreaming about, and we have been debating either to tell people about it or not, because we want to preserve it in its natural beauty, not have huge crowds get here. But at the same time, we believe that each person should have this kind of a connection to the land, to where you can touch the stone and look at the mountain and feel so much love and so much support coming from the land. So we have been here with humpback whales. They come here every year. They make a journey from the Antarctica, 6,500 kilometers, to be here in the warm waters, to mate and to sing their songs and to have babies. It's a very, very special place. It's not just the whales, the land and the lagoon. It all together creates its own ecosystem. I almost see it as its own toroid, where love that comes from deep in the land, that is Moorea, pours out onto the grids around the island, and kind of the island becomes not just the land but also the waters and the whales surrounding it. So when you're in the water, you're still in the island somehow. It's a very, very interesting sensation. The lagoons have the most beautiful turquoise colors, and when you look at them, a memory stirs inside of you. You feel stuff just looking at the colors of the water. It's almost like the colors can cause a certain memory, and they can cause even healing inside you just from looking at the colors of the lagoon. So there's many aspects of being here that are very, very special. Today we are pre-recording this event. Usually we do it live. I love doing it live because I love feeling each one of you as you join in. There's something special about it, and then reading your comments, hearing where you are, what's going on for you. And we get up to 500 people doing this with us. So it's a very, very powerful thing to do it live. The internet here is not strong enough to do it live. So I then record it with the knowingness that even if in the linear time frame we're not in the same time, energetically we still merge. Our intentions bring us together, and in the quantum space we still become the same field. So I hope you can take a deep breath with everything we're doing here and feel the togetherness. Feel how we still 500 or maybe even 1,000 people come together to sing in the same moment. This is going to be a quantum moment, but it's still the same moment. So our intentions are everything, as you know. So just join me in this intention to sing to the whales today, to express the love and gratitude and appreciation that we have for them, to express it from your heart to their heart, and know that you're doing it first of all together with other people, and you're also doing it together with whales, because when you join on the grids, it can be felt. The whales have shown us many, many times, even on this retreat, whatever we do, they can feel and they respond to it. There is no coincidences. Everything happens in a way where we just know, we can see the reflection So the physical whales are connected to the grids, to their higher self, the beings that they are in the higher dimensions, and all of that we sync to and we connect to, and it is all perceived and felt. So for the meditation, for those of you that are with us for the first time, we start with a little meditation. We go into a few sharings many times with the guest. Today we're going to include a little bit of a interview that we did with the Maori Elder that was with us in this first week, swimming with whales with us. And if you're familiar with Maori, they have a very, very deep connection to the whales. The Whale Rider story, the Whale Rider movie, comes from New Zealand, comes from Aotearoa, and it is the part of the creation, part of the ancestry of those tribes. And Whale Rider, as I'm gonna share later, carries a very deep encoded message, encoded energy for each one of us to recognize and embody ourselves as well. So it was a big, big honor for me to have an elder from that tribe sharing her presence, sharing how she perceives the whale, and everything that is inside their language that points to how the waters coming from the heavens enter into the rivers and the oceans, and how we are made of water, how this is all interconnected with our human journey, the journey from the heavens to the earth, and then also the journey and the role of the whales. It all ties together. So having her as a guest, sharing a few things, seeing her in the water, coming to be with whales, it was her first time. She has never seen them in the water, and it was so special to have, in a way, bring the two together, bring the Whale Rider tribe and the whales, and have them meet and merge underwater. To me, that was, I feel deep honor to be able to be a part of this, to be able to co-create it and support it and empower it. So thank you again for being here. This is a little longer introduction than usually, but for the first part, I'll invite you to go on a meditation with me. Then after a little bit of an interview, we go into second meditation and we sync to the whales. This is done in a quantum way. We play a recording. You use your voice. Nobody hears you. You do it in your own way. You express your heart, knowing you're doing it together with many other people. And then we all together listen to the response from the whales. So thank you again for being here. And if you're ready, you can just, situate yourself in a very comfortable way. Make sure you're gonna be okay doing a short meditation right now. And pull your intention inwards. Allow your breath to relax your body. And also allow your breath to help you sink in, down, from your mind, from your senses that are looking out into the world. We turn them inwards now, inwards and down. And you can place a hand on your heart. Just feeling the rhythm of the heartbeat. Allowing that rhythm to call to you, to pull you down and more inwards. And now we're gonna gently smile for the heart. And this smile becomes you appreciating everything that your heart represents, everything that your heart does for you. And allow this smile to send a thank you to your heart. Thank you for being here. Thank you for beating. And thank you for bringing life force through blood into every corner, into every cell of my body. And then acknowledge, as you smile to your heart, how important it is to say thank you for your life, for the gift of life, for your body functioning, allowing you to experience this dimension. And make sure you're taking conscious breaths. Make sure you hear them and feel them as you smile with your heart. And then from your heart, turn this gratitude and attention and your smile down into the earth underneath you. May this attention and this breath become an energetic greeting and an energetic exclamation of saying, here I am, dear Earth, dear Gaia, dear Mother. And see if through your smile and through this gratitude and through this attention, you can travel down deep into the planet, to the heart of Mother Earth. Just like you smiled for your own heart, can you smile for Gaia, for the heart of Gaia? And you can say to her heart, here I am, here I am. Expressing the appreciation for being alive, for being taken care of, for being held. Feel now how Mother Earth, out of this heart, just like a fountain coming out, her love comes out to create a toroid around the planet, a field of love. Just like the island of Moorea, where the love pours out and embraces not just the land, but the waters, the lagoons, the whales, and us as human beings. See how planet Earth does it for the whole planet and the space around her. And how each one of us is nourished by this love. And how every living being has a song within our heart that celebrates this love. Every bird sings. And even the animals and the plants that maybe you don't hear, they all have their own way of singing energetically. And all of these songs combine to create the planet Earth, the abundance of love pouring out of the heart of Gaia. So take a moment now to feel your song within this harmony. As you smile at your heart, as you smile at the heart of Gaia, as you take a deep breath, feeling this pouring of love like a fountain out from the center surrounding the whole planet. Feel and know that your voice is part of this harmony. It's an important part of this harmony. Without your voice, something would be missing. If you weren't meant to be here, you wouldn't be here. The fact that your heart is beating and that you're alive at this time means all of creation wanted you to be here and sing your song. And now I want you to take a moment and also feel the songs of the whales. And you can smile at their heart. And feel thousands of them as they swim and surround all the oceans. And notice that all of their songs create a grid. They create a specific layer within the field of Gaia. And within that grid, there's a strong crystalline quality. Crystalline that holds the memories, the Akash, and the songs from the stars. Take a moment and smile into this grid, the song of the whales. And honor the fact that they're here. Thank you for being here. knowing that if they weren't meant to be here, they wouldn't be. And that there's no coincidence that we're here together, sharing this planet, same space and time. And that it's very important for us to take our role as we sing our song. And with that, I would invite you to simply take a deeper breath and allow all of your attention to now come back to your own heart. And once again, just smiling for your own heart. Knowing that all the connections you just made are there. They stay. They're open. And with that, gently bring in your attention through your body with your breath, gently waking up your feet and your legs, gently moving them, your arms and your chest, and your neck and your head. Bringing back your full attention to your eyes, and whenever you're ready, keep this vibration and gently open your eyes. I feel so very blessed to be able to come back from a meditation like this, open my eyes and see the ocean as far as the horizon reaches. It's such a beautiful place to be in. And just yesterday we were saying until we meet again a hui ho to our first retreat participants, and as they were packing their bags into the van, there was 2 humpback whales that were breaching out continuously right next to each other. First one, then the other one, and then sometimes they did it together, and they did at least 20 jumps. It was really, really amazing, and it really felt like they're saying goodbye, and until the next time, until we see you again, to the first group that was just living at that moment. So, such a blessing. So thank you for doing this with me, aligning our hearts. To me, it's always very interesting to notice how after the meditation, I have deeper clarity with the words. So I do it as much for me as I do it for everybody else to gather in the space together, and the energy aligns, and then the message of the day becomes very clear. The message I wanted to share before we go to Puawai, our Maori Elder, is that the energy of the whale rider is something that has been with me for many years now. If you haven't seen the movie, it's an amazing movie to see. And if you don't know this story, in the Maori tribe in New Zealand, they have the ancestor coming to Aotearoa from somewhere else, from some other islands, probably here in South Pacific. And as he's traveling, as the tribe is traveling to New Zealand or Aotearoa, the canoe turns around and they are lost in the storm. So there's a big storm, the canoe turns around, and they feel like their lives are lost. They have no idea how to get back on the boat, and they feel like this is it. So they, in that moment, Paikea does the prayer to the ancestors, to their lineage of who they are. And as he does that, a whale shows up and picks him up from underneath and takes him. He becomes the whale rider, and the whale takes him to the new land. The story is beautifully portrayed in the movie, but to me it also represents an internal process. So when we connect to the whales, as humanity and also individually, sometimes there is a moment of shifting. Right now, the whole planet is going through a shift from the old into the new. Many times when you're shifting from one reality to the new one, you're asked to jump, and there's a moment of uncertainty. There's no clarity what the new land's going to be. And you know, the only thing you know, you're meant to let go of what was behind. So when you connect to then the story of the whale rider, it gives you almost like a formula. In that moment, the Paikeya made a prayer. He went deep into the space of spiritual connection. So he wasn't trying to climb back on the canoe. He wasn't crying that it was lost. He knew he's in the middle of the storm and he's supposed to do something. So what he did was he prayed and asked for a solution, and the solution came in a very unexpected way. The whale picked him up and took him to the new land. So what happens internally is the whales, actually their songs are shifting as humanity shifts. And I noticed this even here this year in Moorea. There was this perceivable shift of the energy from the source and the song of the whales shifting just slightly to adjust to the changes in humanity. So it symbolizes the clear connection, the whales, the crystalline, the Akash, everything we remember from the other star systems, everything that we have done here in different civilizations in Atlantis and Lemuria, all of this is remembered. And as the whale picks you up, this wisdom of how to get to the new land, it happens together. It's not a human thing swimming on, and it's not just the whale taking the person. It really is the merging that is the key here for me. So the whale rider becomes one energy from two songs. So the whale song and the human song merge, and they become one forward-moving energy of the whale rider. And the interesting part is the whale actually picks the rider up, so it's not the other way around. So you're not looking for a whale to ride. You align yourself through prayer to then be picked up. And for me, that's such a powerful, powerful message for all of us. And I believe this is what we're doing here, even today. As you sing the song, you're singing your prayers. As the response from the whale comes, the two hearts merge, and we move forward as one. We become part of the grids, and in a way we take the same role as the whales have for the planet. So we're stepping up to being a representation of that bigger extended consciousness. Does that make sense? I'm so used to doing this live, and then right now I would stop and be like, okay, is there a question? Is there anything you'd like to share? So I'd look at the comments and be like, okay. So feel free still to comment even now as you're watching, and I'm gonna read all of this later. And if there is any questions or sharing, I love the feedback, I love the interaction, I love that this is actually co-created. So this only makes sense if we're doing it together. Okay, so with sharing that, I just wanted to also show a video of a whale coming. And I described it in a post I did recently, how last year here in Moorea, or we were on another island in Raiatea, and this whale was swimming, and as I started toning, this whale turned towards me and came straight onto me, and it seemed like it's gonna bump into me, and there was a moment of fear in me. So last year I swam away to not be bumped by a whale. I know it sounds very interesting, but you know, this was my experience. So this was the last year I wrote a post saying how close is too close. How do you know that something, you know, that's still okay is gonna happen if you don't move and don't listen to fear? And this year a very similar thing happened. This whale started swimming towards me, and inside of me there was again this, oh my god, it's coming straight to me, is it gonna bump into me? And I said inside of me, so it's almost like I came to a more mature place of just recognizing and saying, no, I'm staying right here, and the whale will do it in a safe way. And so this year what happened was the whale came and kind of swam underneath me, touching distance, like so close. And as it was doing that, I thought I'm just allowing this whale to swim past me. But what actually happened was, in the energy, as the whale was underneath me, I looked down and I realized, oh my God, I'm on top of the whale. And energetically, what happened in that moment was there was a big rush of energy coming through, making me feel the whale rider. In that moment of the whale passing right underneath me was an actual encoded energy of the whale rider. I was able to feel it inside my body, and I was like, oh my God, this whale picked me up energetically. And in the physical, it doesn't look like that. The whale swims on, I stay there, but in the energy, I became the whale rider, and I was riding with the whale. And I just want each one of you to feel how that would feel, the sensation of that. So this is my sharing for today. We're gonna now give a few minutes for Puawai to speak, to share some of her culture. That is the direct line of the whale rider, and the wisdom of their language, their words, their culture can be felt through everything she's talking about. So I hope you enjoy being with her, and we'll see you after.
Haramaina manuhiri tuarangi Haramaina whana o te maramatanga, te iwi o te taia. Ki ngā hao te
Aloha everybody, my name is Lemuri, and we're coming to you from Moorea. It's a beautiful island in the middle of Pacific, very strong with the presence of the divine feminine. It's amazing, amazing whale sanctuary, and we have been here swimming with whales for the last 14 days. And on our retreat of swimming with whales, we have a very, very special being that showed up here to be with us and swim with whales with us. Most people, including me, the first meeting with the Maori culture has been through the movie, the Whale Ride.
Yes.
And seeing that, it was so full of encoded memories of things that we remember innately, but maybe we never put words to. So anywhere in the world, people were watching that movie, they could feel what's behind the story. So when I first talked to you and you said you are part of the whale rider tribe, part of that same tradition, I was like, oh my God, you can, from your life, from your teachings, also share more about the meanings behind everything that was shared in that movie. So I feel very honored to be able to ask questions about the whales, ask questions about your tribe's spiritual connection to the whales, and everything that is passed down maybe inside stories that are metaphors, inside the teachings that you receive. So this was probably the biggest excitement for me to have this interview.
We are descended from celestial navigators and wisdom walkers that traverse the vast oceans to arrive at the land we call Aotearoa, the land of the first light, the land of the ever-shining light when you break up the word in its true translation, and the land of the long white cloud. Our Mother Earth, we see her as the crystalline being that she is, with all the crystals that she holds with the different colours. And within Aotearoa we have the green stone, which is the heart stone, but it actually originates from the ancient Lemuria. The waters we know as the liquid love of our Mother Earth. So the beings within the waters, such as our tahora, the whale, is our record keeper. Paikea is based on the mythologies of how our tupuna, our ancestors, arrived here in Aotearoa. Those stories are brought alive through song, through haka, through storytelling, through theatre. That is our way of keeping our culture alive, keeping our customs and traditions, and honouring everything, every living being that is sacred to us. So with the story of Paikea and the movie, that was a beautiful way to bring out one of our mythologies, one of our legends to the world for a deeper understanding for yourself and for it to have touched many people's hearts.
When your culture sees the whale, is there significance? How significant is that? Is there a message? Is there a certain relation that happens within, the tribe as you relate to the whale?
It's the being that originates from the stars. So it's gifted from the stars and birthed upon the earth, within the waters. It holds the memory. It has the mana, the ha, the living breath that we all witness when it births and it comes up for its breath. And the sound of that, the vibration that received, but also it represents undiluted love, aroha. We all know it as that gentle being. It connects, it's a heartfelt connection that we as a culture hold deep within us from memories of our ancestors, our tupuna. I'd really like to bring in another aspect of tohora that I shared with you briefly about the kauri. The kauri tree is our rangatira of the forest, the god of the forest, who we acknowledge, as I did through our journey today. Going into the forest, I acknowledge the god of the forest that we know as Tani Mahuta. So within Aotearoa we have this beautiful kauri tree. When you look at the word kauri, you get ka is to activate. You get the AU is a universal symbol for gold. And the RI is vibration. So it's about, the kauri means to activate the golden vibration. Kauri has a beautiful golden sap that for us we use also for clearing, for blessings, for clearing negative energies. But it has, the trunk of the tree has bark like barnacles that fall off the tree. So it was just of late, probably the last 8 years, that we've had an illness that it's affected our kauri trees within our great forests of Aotearoa. It's called a dieback. And so the trees were dying. And the scientists all came together and tried to work out what are we going to do about this? What is the best way forward? So they gathered some of our Maori healers together. And they were sort of like looking at the different healing trees that should be grown around the kauri. But then there was a beautiful kaumatua. A kaumatua is a respected elder. And here's a gentleman, Toby Ashby, from Northland. And he remembered a beautiful story, a legend that came back to his memory. And so when we look deeper into our beautiful stories and legends and proverbs, we find the clues. And so when he looked deeper into the story, it was about the Kauri and the whale, the tohora, were best friends because the whale walked upon the earth. Until the invitation from Tangaroa, the god of the ocean, was gifted to all the creatures within the forest, that he was opening the door for that to become part of the world that anyone was invited to. So the tohora, the whale, approached his best friend, the Kauri tree, and said to him, I'd really like to explore the realm of Tangaroa. I'm feeling that that might be a new adventure for myself, and I'd really like you to join me since you're my dearest friend. But the Kauri tree said, no, I'm very happy where I am, but you go off. But I will gift you the bark of my tree, so we will always be connected. So they became, the bark was gifted to the tohora, the whale. That was very much like the barnacles. And so off the whale swam. Now, we've noticed, but also the sound of the whale is heard through the breeze that blows through the leaves of the trees. So the Kauri tree sounds like the whale's song. So suddenly there's whales that started beaching onto the shore, and that was devastating for a lot of us. And to have a deeper understanding, why is this happening? But it's just of late that they realised that the whale had the medicine to heal this disease that the Kauri was suffering from, called the dieback. So after the whales had beached themselves, then they were buried, and from different parts of the whale's being, they were able to put the medicine of that around the roots of the Kauri tree that has now created the healing for the Kauri tree. So now our Kauri trees are now thriving. So that's the magic of our culture too, is to go back and look back at the different stories and legends that have been shared and look deeper into it and find the solutions. Our Mother Earth, our Mama Tuanuku, she has provided us with all her pharmacy and her pantry. And as we look out there, that's my seafood department, but also the honouring of all the beings that are part of the water world, because there's no separation. And as I said, it's the liquid love of the mother. So also when we hold ceremony in the waters, when we do karakia, when we go out to be with the whales, the medicine is through the karakia, and it sings to the waters. And the waters touch all lands of this world. So here we are honouring all the different cultures, all the different countries, all the different continents, through karakia, through our vibration into the waters.
In your eyes, what does happen when a sacred sound then enters the water? That is a communication from your heart, from your being to the waters, all the crystalline memories, everything that happens. And then there's a backwards communication as well? Meaning we receive as well as give?
I think when you also look at the word in Māori for spirit, is called wairua. Wai is water. Rua is the two waters. So we have the waters that come from Ranginui, the heavens, and we have the waters from our Mother Earth that we know as the waterfalls, as her breast milk. The spring waters are her breast milk, the rivers. So it's those two waters combining, once again, the sacred masculine and the sacred feminine. And those waters are what we call the wairua, the spirit. So the spirit is also our waters within that sing, that radiate, that vibrate, that send out that vibration and frequency.
I remember when we first talked about you coming here to Moorea to be with us and swim with whales, and you said you're coming to be with your Puna, your ancestors. Can you just explain how do you see the whales as part of your lineage?
The whales are also what we call our kaitiaki. Our kaitiaki are our spiritual guardians. So when our ancestors sailed from Hawaii Nui, Hawaii Roa, Hawaii Paumamau, the mystical lands of Hawaii, each waka came with a captain, as well as a medicine man, a tohunga, we call it. And so that person was responsible for doing the karakias for safe passage, for reading the tohu, the signs from the heavens, for reading the waves, the clouds. For that they would get the signs coming from the ocean, such as the whales. So the whales would arrive, would send out the messages on the internet, one could say, to the tohunga as to safe passage. So whales to us have always been our sacred spiritual angels, in a sense, to our guardians of the waters. So that to us was a tohu, a sign that there was safe passage coming this way. So, wherever the fishermen are on the waters, if, they would do karakia and they would look to those tohu as we did on our journey. You would see the crew on the boat, and they would take note of the direction that the whales were in, how many were in that group. They were reading the whales. Remember, he would go forward and he would connect deeper with the whale to let him know that were we invited into their living room, so to speak. So it's innate in all Indigenous nations that have that deep connection with the oneness.
And for you now entering the water and being with them, and we had this very powerful moment of two whales, male and female,
Yes.
coming up to us and really look us in the eye, and it was so profound. So how was your experience from all this beautiful sacred background of relationship to the water, to the whales? How was this experience for you when you were in the water seeing the eye of the whale?
I think it was such a beautiful experience first and foremost, to be here with our pod, with the sacred circle, and thank you both for facilitating and being part, calling us together. Also for the divine design to create this divine alignment. But everyone has been part of this, and to have aligned with the crew, with the captain, Maher, with Kevin, with Sham. It was just with such ease and grace. And every part was honoured, from them honouring the opportunity for us to be able to stop at a certain part, for that honouring of you leading a meditation, for you asking me to do a karakia. Every aspect is part of this unfoldment. We'd call that within Tikanga Māori. It's all meant to be. It is all in divine order. And for us then to be guided out onto the waters, and for us to have that confidence, that beautiful respect and love of their culture and their wisdoms, but also for us to be really connected as a team. The word team, I look at trust everyone around me when you break the word up. But to enter the water and to be, I felt so safe due to it wasn't something I'd done before, but I'd had some practice a couple of days before. But it was just that feeling of we were really a pod. We were coming together to get her. And there was such a safety and security, but there was also for myself that delight of being able to look under the water, breathe properly, and feel so nurtured by you all, and that you were all wishing for me to really experience that joy of seeing the whales for my very, very first time underwater, and to be taken closer, all of you gathered around me. It was, I think it's hard to express, but it's just the excitement of the cells within me, the vibration, the resonation of that connection with them, and looking into the eye of the whale, looking into that galaxy, looking into the allness, the omnipresence. It's hard to describe. It's just the absolute feeling of bliss, and you just are floating love. It's nothing that I think I could ever, there's nothing that matches that. But also being in the watery realm, that floating, I'm trying to find words for that experience, but it's nothing I could ever compare it with in my life, and I'm just so grateful for that to have, for my ancestors to have created this opportunity, for my celestial teams to have brought us all together for this metaphysical, magical moments that will hold divine memory for me forever. So yes, I'm just grateful for this massive opportunity. Thank you so much.
And would you give a message to anybody watching somewhere else in the world that's maybe thinking about going to see the whales, or even is not sure if, they're near the whales, but as far as them connecting, is there anything from your culture to them that you would give as a message of increased contact, increased way of connecting with the whales through themselves?
I bring it all down to the one word, te aroha. Te aroha in our culture is love. Aro is focus, concentrate. Oha is of the abundance, and ha is of the breath. So aroha is the abundance of breath, but also it's what you receive within your cells that is truly of it's undiluted love. It's the highest expression of divine. I think for a person to open the door to the opportunity, I think first for myself, the alignment unfolded for me. So it was a suggestion first by someone, and then it was just sitting with that and seeing how things unfolded, and they unfolded for me with such ease and grace that I knew that everything was divinely aligned. So stepping forward into that opportunity for myself was the first signal for my celestial teams to come in and to assist with opening the door further and making those deeper connections, and stepping forward with self-esteem, with having to step out of a comfort zone and bring to me my very own, bring to me what I've wished for as a child, knowing of whale movies and just like being so touched. My heart has been so touched by different movies, especially Paikea. And so seeing that movie again after the suggestion and going, oh my gosh, this is resonating so deeply for me. And then taking those next steps and seeing those next steps just flowing easily. The path was just opening up. So that was, there was no doubting that this was meant to be part of my earth walk. And thank you for making that so easy too, with our connection, with our first kōrero with each other, then the excitement started to become real for me. And then arriving, and thank you so much, Anika, for your presence and your divine feminine with that nurturing and your deep inner tuition to assist each of us that were brought together to really fully be here in that heart presence. And with the heart, you get the word earth as well. And the art of the heart is the earth, you know, so we play with that. Well, I play with words all the time, but that really is that deep, deep heart connection to our new pod, and just really being in love, falling in love for me. It was to fall in love with this new adventure, with this experience, with this, with opening the water world into my world, because I'd never had this experience. So, yeah.
It was an absolute delight to have you with us. It was so magical to have you do different chants and ceremonies. And I want to invite everybody, if you travel to Aotearoa, New Zealand, our dear Puawai is doing sacred journeys there. If you ever travel to New Zealand, just make sure you find her, but she wants to be found through the synchronicity. So, but she is, I know when I go to New Zealand next time, I will join with you and explore some of the sacred sites, even connected to dolphins and whales there. We're also thinking about just bringing a group there and make a retreat there with you. So I'm really grateful I can introduce you to everybody that's interested in dolphins and whales and feels the aroha, the love that flows between our hearts. So I'm really grateful to have gotten to know you and that you're here with us, and I hope it lasts, not just one but many lifetimes.
Thank you.
And just to conclude, would you like to share another one of your beautiful, can you remind me the word again, the
Karakia?
Karakia.
Closing karakia. I'd just like to say that I've come up with a name for my journeys, and my journeys have always been with the mystery and the magic. People are guided, led to me, and as you say, the synchronicities. It's been the only way it could be. And so I kept thinking, what's an interesting word in te reo, but also within sacred. And so I get te wai, the waters, Wi-Fi, P-H-I. Te Wi-Fi or Puawai. So that's going to be my new tourism name. You are guided to me through the divine Wi-Fi, through the internet, through the waters, the song, the spirit, the memory, the signature, the soul of the sacred geometry. As multidimensional beings that we are, we will make that connection. So that's my new, and yes, you'll find me on Waiheke Island. So I look forward to however things align with divine. So I will do a closing karakia now. Thank you, and thank you everyone. Kia ora. He hanore, he karore, he hallelujah ki te atua. He maungarongo, he manaki, he atawhai, ki rungi i te mata o te whenua. He whakaro pai, he whakaro roa, ki ngā tangata katoa. Nō reira, kia tau, kia tātou katoa te atawhai o tō tātou ariki, a ihu karaiti me te aroha o te atua, me te whiwhinga tahitanga ki te wairua tapu. Ake, amene. Kia ora.
And welcome back. I hope that was as strong for you as it was for me. Every time Puawai would speak, I had goosebumps. I love just sitting next to her, listening to everything she has to share. I hope that was enjoyable, and if you would like to hear the whole interview, it's also on my YouTube channel. And now we're going to go into the last part of our today's event, which is the Sing to the Whale part, the choir. This is always we build up the energy to this moment, and it's the moment where we go into meditation, connect deeply, and then express our song. This song, I always say, can come in many different forms. What I'm very familiar with, what I'm very at home with, is toning. So what we do, we use a background toning choir to where MuOm from Spain, from Barcelona, I think there's 10 of them. They sing the most beautiful harmonies of toning, of overtones. Toning is an extended, very deep internal vibration of sound. The most easy way to go into it is by singing Om. The letter M turns the sound inwards and let it vibrate. You can do that with any song, any sound. You let it turn inwards and start vibrating your inner chambers. MuOm does beautiful recordings. I always add the link to their website, and I'm always so grateful that they let me use their sound as a background sound. So this background sound serves as a space-making, choir-creating sound for you to then add your voice into. But your voice might be toning, might be light language, or might be your completely own expression of sound. Whatever comes through is perfect. The most important thing is your intention of connecting to the whales, your intention of feeling your heart become part of their grids, and then knowing that your song is actually perceived, it's heard, it's received by the whales. It's very quantum, but in the energy, this is the truth, this is what happens. I can observe it every time we do it. There's waves that flow through. It's like ripples through the grids that we create together, and to me it's one of the most beautiful things in the world. So thank you for being a part of it. So after we're gonna sing, there's gonna be a response from the whale. You just wait in that space and see the ripples that you sent out, in what way they're coming back. So this grid is alive, it's conscious, and there's personal messages for you. Even though the whale song happens under the water, within the whale song there's a uniquely yours vibration coding. It's coming from the whale, not just from the whale, but all the way from the center of the galaxy, from the union of the masculine and feminine that created this whole galaxy. There's a whale song coming with your personal message. So sit with the receiving and allow the song to really enter deep inside. The message, the coding may not be in words, may not be in pictures. It may only be in light and information. There is no need to try and unpack it right away. But stay with it, with your feeling and everything. And thank you for being part of this, and we're gonna start now. And just like before, we're gonna take a deep breath, touch our heart, and you're gonna notice how everything we did before is still here, it's still present. The smile, the gentleness, the love of Gaia, the remembrance of the songs that we all carry, that all create the harmony, that all co-create this planet. And with the next deep breath, feel into the grids of the whales. Allow your heart to connect to those grids. And the easiest way to do that is simply taking a deep breath, feeling the heart of the whales, and saying thank you. And as you do that a few times with a few deep breaths, you're going to have a very interesting sensation of almost like your heart is emerging into the grids. And the more your heart merges, the more you're noticing that all of the whale hearts are also merged. And you might notice that there's a sensation of unity. There's a sensation of there only being one heart, one heartbeat, one field. So then as you say thank you within your own heart, the whole grid knows about it. As you smile within your own heart, it ripples out to the whole grid. And now I'd like you to invite a whale. You can imagine it swimming towards you. And invite it to come close as you stay in your heart. And commit in your intention to become the whale rider. Where the whale comes so close, it goes underneath you, picks you up, feel the rush of that. Feel the rush of riding a whale forward to the new land. And as you're riding the whale, allow your heartbeat and the heartbeat of the whale to match. And know that as you're riding the whale, the song that's yours, that's in your heart, becomes stronger. You're empowered to express it, to say it as a prayer, as a celebration song. as a gratitude song. And know that this is how it was always meant to be. The songs merging, creating harmonies. And bringing to this planet new codes from the great central sun, the center of the galaxy. So taking a deep breath with all of this in your heart. Knowing now is the time to find your own expression through your voice. Open your throat and be free in how you sing your song. There's nothing to hold back. Align in the intention of love. Align in the intention of unity, of one heart, the quantum heart. Knowing that the abundance of Gaia is a choir of all of our songs. And you were always meant to sing yours. So with the next deep breath, let it flow. So gently and slowly allow the vibration of this song of the whale settle in, integrate into the cells, into the waters, into your heart. Feeling the harmony between your song and the song of the whales as it merges within your heart. And again, send your smile and send your blessings into the grids, knowing that what happened today was beautiful, was a birth of something new, like a birth of a baby whale that's completely white. That symbolizes the new time, the new land, the new codes of purity. And then you smile and say thank you to your own heart, to your own being. And then bring your attention to your feet. Allow them to move gently, dance, and start moving the rest of your body to fully bring your attention to a place where you'll be able to gently move your head and you can rub your face, and whenever you're ready you can open your eyes. Thank you all, welcome back. And this completes another beautiful event with all of you. Just want to take a moment to honor what each one of you is bringing to the circle, and really, really celebrating the fact that we can do it together. Thank you to even the technology that's allowing us to connect like this. The whale singers, the whale riders from all over the world. As always, it's such a joy and pleasure to have you with us. For all of you that are interested in coming somewhere with us to swim with the whales, to touch them in Baja California, to swim with dolphins, I'll send links to different events. We're going many places next year, so not all of the events are online yet, but we're having a very exciting year coming. So thank you to all of you joining us and doing this Sing to the Whales in the waters, in the physical, and co-creating all of this with all of us. Thank you from my heart to yours, and sending many blessings to wherever you are. And again, thank you to Puawai, thank you to MuOm, and thank you to Anika for editing this video. Much love to all of you. Aloha.